precisely why the early morning of May 9th, catalyzed and moonstruck, unburied as scientifically urban an outcome as it did artificially spiritual a sculpture, belonging and surreal, yet suborbital drones aside, presuming the bulk of the besorted metaphysics was exclusively catalogued by the gaze, lonesome and distended, of the indefatigable squirrels and the arboreal raccoons, of the slug-body seals and cedar-charred cormorants, of the pepper-flake flies and meritorious otters, of the downtown gulls and leather-string cats, beady and fire-ganged, seems questionably sound at best. What disaster, what guilt, what expulsion, what riot, what relocation, what discordance, what transposition, what bypass, what stunt, what protrusion, what expectorant, what standard deviation, what low-res after-image, what cannon purge, what one-way war, what Poseidon projectile, what thrust bucket, what chaos blossom, what red velvet county fair illusion, what extraordinary microatmospheric event, what hydrogen quakometric bomb, what asymmetrically vintage solitary vertical stampede, what pop, flop, drop, signed, limited edition die-cast aluminum IP67 knock-knock joke. Look for yourself, might chant the soon-to-be sacrificial lamb bastard, uphealed and alight, in merely an unimpeachably honorable attempt to distinguish optical clarity from shadow world sensation. But there is not nearly enough panic, spun-headed and judicial, and there is not nearly enough metal, primed and bliss-whipped, to acknowledge that if nothing was what was there, nothing at all, a Main Street parade of desires, emboldened and average, would drive flagged stakes into the veiny temples of the citizenry until it was assumed that there actually was. Does it float? Does it bounce? Does it alarm? Does it agitate? Does it crusade? Does it slalom? Does it host? Does it bleed? Does it contribute? Does it warrant negligence? Does it feed or swallow banal observation? Does it silo or off-gas colorless infringements? Does it star howl? Does it sun breathe? Does it cast the thinnest spectacle? Does it murk magnet and drain? Does it spill check and spontaneously robust? Does it macro-fluoresce under cloud-burst bridge spans and bronze-brained hawks? They, subdominant and wealthy, know what needs to be known about the truth about the circumstances of that early morning collapse, partnerless and syrupy, and are telling no one. The risk to the framework, whimsical and gruff, of the steadiness in their communal lives would represent too grand and too rickety and too prismatic a wager to place in this or any day and age. Do not worry, they have said, battle-wise and modern. It will disappear soon enough, and your answers will neither hold the waters you treasure nor the barriers between you and the others, as their impatience and their forgiveness and their tolerance ends. Do not worry, they have said, proto-sober and unambiguous. It will disappear soon enough, and then